Okay, think about the most important jobs in the world. Now, I want you to shrink them way, way down to a microscopic scale. Because inside every single one of your cells right now, there are these tiny workers doing jobs so absolutely crucial you literally couldn't live without them. So today, we're going to shine a spotlight on two of these unsung heroes that keep the whole show running.
To really get what's going on, you've got to stop thinking of your cells as just little blobs of life. Instead, picture each one as a complex, bustling city. I mean, it's got power plants, transportation networks, even a central government. And get this, trillions of these tiny cities are all working together this very second to make you, you. And you know, just like any busy city, our cells produce a ton of waste. A ton. If that junk isn't managed, the whole system just grinds to a halt. So that's the big question, right? Who are the sanitation workers and the hazmat teams in this incredible cellular metropolis?
Well, first up on our cleanup crew is the lysosome. Think of this little guy as the master of recycling and waste management. It makes sure nothing valuable ever gets thrown out.
So what is a lysosome exactly? Well, it's basically this little sac filled with incredibly powerful digestive enzymes. Its whole job is to just gobble up waste, a worn-out organelle, some food particles, maybe even an invading bacterium, and just dissolve it all down into its basic reusable parts.
And here's how it works its magic. The inside of a lysosome is kept at a pH of about 5. Now, to put that in perspective, that's about 100 times more acidic than the rest of the cell. This super intense environment is what activates more than 50 different kinds of digestive enzymes, and each one is a specialist at breaking down a certain material. It's really a brilliant piece of engineering. By keeping all that acid safely contained, the cell can use these powerful tools without, accidentally digesting itself. So this little organelle is just unbelievably versatile. It's not just taking out the trash. It's digesting old mitochondria, neutralizing invaders, and, this is the crucial part, recycling all those components back into raw materials the cell can use again. And it doesn't stop there. In some cells, it even helps patch up wounds in the outer membrane. It's a true multitasker. Okay, so the lysosome handles the general recycling, but what about the really hazardous waste, the dangerous stuff? For that, the cell calls in a specialist, and that's where we meet the peroxisome.
Right, so if the lysosome is the city's recycling center, the peroxisome is its hazardous waste and detoxification unit. It's another small sack of enzymes, but this one specializes in neutralizing poisons and breaking down very specific molecules that other parts of the cell just can't handle. And you can actually tell they have different jobs just by looking at where they come from. See, lysosomes are built by the Golgi apparatus, but peroxisomes, they actually bud off from a totally different structure, the endoplasmic reticulum. This separate origin story really points to their unique specialized role inside the cell.
And the peroxisome's resume is pretty impressive. This is where excess fatty acids are broken down. It's a key player in detoxifying things like alcohol in your liver cells. It also helps create essential materials like cholesterol and the myelin that protects our nerve cells. Its main job, really, is handling all the chemically reactive and potentially damaging stuff.
And it has this incredibly elegant two-step process to do it. For example, when it breaks down fatty acids, that reaction creates hydrogen peroxide, which is a seriously dangerous chemical for the cell. But the peroxisome comes prepared. It's packed with an enzyme called catalase, which instantly grabs that toxic byproduct and safely converts it into harmless water and oxygen. How cool is that? It basically creates a mess and cleans it up, all in one smooth motion.
So if we look at them side by side, the differences are just crystal clear. They have different origins, completely different primary jobs. You've got general cycling versus specialized detox, and they use totally different toolkits of enzymes to get it all done. They're two distinct and absolutely vital services for the city of the cell.
So, what happens when these crucial sanitation systems break down? Well, the consequences aren't just microscopic. They can be absolutely devastating for the entire organism. For instance, if even just one of those 50-plus lysosomal enzymes is missing because of a genetic defect, the one substance it was supposed to break down starts to pile up. This leads to a group of conditions called lysosomal storage diseases. In Tay-Sachs disease, for example, a specific lipid builds up in nerve cells, causing severe neurological damage. It's like a single-item garbage strike that eventually shuts down the whole city.
And it's a similar story with the peroxisome. If it can't do its job, the consequences are just as dire.
In a disorder known as XALD, the peroxisome can't break down certain very long-chain fatty acids. These fats then accumulate and destroy the protective myelin sheath that surrounds our neurons, which disrupts brain function.
And you might actually be familiar with this one. The family's struggle to find a treatment for XALD was famously documented in the film Lorenzo's Oil. It's just a really powerful reminder that these tiny, tiny organelles we're talking about have a massive, real-world impact on people's lives.
So we've seen their individual jobs, and we've seen what happens when they fail. But their story doesn't end there. To really appreciate what they do, we need to see how they work together in one of the most fascinating processes in all of biology, cellular renewal.
This brings us to a process with a cool name, autophagy. It literally means self-eating, and it's the cell's ultimate quality control program. The cell actually identifies its own old, damaged, or toxic parts, wraps them up in a little bubble, and delivers them straight to the lysosome for recycling. This isn't just cleaning. This is a profound act of regeneration, where the cell literally rebuilds itself using its own old components.
You know the ancient symbol of the Ouroboros, the serpent eating its own tail? It's the perfect metaphor for this process. The cell consumes its own past to fuel its future. It's this fundamental cycle of destruction and creation, and it's happening inside you every single second, keeping your entire system resilient and healthy.
I mean, that's an amazing thought, isn't it? Right now, trillions of these tiny cleanup crews are working tirelessly inside of you, constantly renewing you from the inside out. This microscopic process is happening every single second of your life, which it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other hidden powers for healing and regeneration are built right into the very fabric of our own biology?